What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for Filthy Rich, Season 1, Episode 5. It is Mardi Gras down in the Big Easy. Now, Karen, that's Ginger's mama, she is going to rehab. Remember that last week that she agreed to go to rehab and all that good stuff. And she's telling Franklin that she saw Eugene. And she said, listen, I promise you he was right there. I saw him, and Eugene was like, listen, I believe that you saw what you think you saw, but were you drinking? And so basically they're writing the whole thing off. She told Ginger. Ginger told her mama you was drunk. So nobody is believing her that she actually saw Eugene. And I'm going to be clear, I still don't know whether Eugene is real or a figment of everybody's imagination. Some things went down this episode that made me think maybe he was real, but then some other things went down that made me think he's an angel. Like, I don't know, not an angel. No, he ain't no angel. But like, a ghost. I don't know. I still don't know. Y'all let me know y'all theories. My comments under my videos, like, listen. So, y'all are on both sides of that coin, I should say. Let me leave it at that. So, we have Franklin. They checking her, Ginger's checking her mama into the rehab. And Franklin is trying to be what he is, the family fixer. And he's trying to say all the right things to Ginger. Talking about something, we got your back. We're going to take care of your mama. We're going to take care of you. And she was like, I'm going to avenge my mother. And the people who did this to her, that turned her into an alcoholic. Because remember, she's blaming the 1820 boys, right? But she's still blaming Margaret and everybody else. And let me be clear, Margaret pissed me off so bad in this episode. When I say she pissed me off so bad, she pissed me off so bad. But let's get there. So, we are at the filming of the show, and it's Eugene's day. Eugene takes one day off every year where he is incommunicado. Don't nobody come talk to him. Don't nobody come see him. Don't nobody say nothing. And Margaret understands. And we end up finding out, I'm not going to prolong this. We end up finding out that Eugene's mama worked for Margaret's family. And that him and Margaret actually grew up together. They were kids together. They used to run around and play together because Margaret was actually the daughter of, and his mom was like the maid. At least that's what they led us to believe. His mom was the cook or the maid or something like that. She may have been something more. I ain't trying to disrespect her, but that's what it seems like. Now, so Eugene went to go visit her. This is the anniversary of her death, and that's his day that he takes every year. And he went to go visit her, and whatever. So while they're filming the show, a commercial comes on for governor, and it's Virgil Love. Now, Virgil Love is the big dude, the one that is asking the son to be his lieutenant governor. And, of course, Margaret is not trying to hear it at all. Margaret don't want her son to have no parts of Mr. Virgil Love. But, of course, he's all in the endorsement ad or whatever. So the daughter, Rose, lets the mama know. She said, listen, Ginger ain't tell you? And she said, Ginger told me what? She said, Ginger didn't tell you that they have a tape of Virgil with one of Ginger's girls? They didn't tell you that. Baby, Margaret was like, say what, say who, say how? She was like, that tape is going to be it. That tape is going to be my ticket to getting my son away from Virgil and getting Virgil and his 1820 boys out my business. Listen, Margaret continues to grossly underestimate. Anyway, who she dealing with. So, excuse me, this is the second episode. We're going to see later on. But this is the second episode that Franklin is not available when Margaret needs him to make these really serious decisions and try to deal with these guys. Last episode, he was laid up with old girl, Victoria, I believe her name was. This episode, he's taking his day off to deal with his mama. So, we see Eugene. Eugene is walking along the highway with that cowboy hat on and that mink, okay? And he runs into two dudes on their way to New Orleans. Two stoners. Well, come to find out, these are the two dudes that know that Mark, I believe it's Mark, is not the real Mark. They know that Mark is lying about being Eugene's actual son. And so he ends up lucking up into it. And of course, he's basically saying, the Lord led me to y'all. This is where I need to be. So they're on their way to town to blackmail Mark. Tell him, listen, you give us XYZ amount of money and, we'll be good to go. Back to the motel, we see I want to say, I don't want to call this boy out his name. Um, the son from New York, the boxer. We see him working out with his mom, Yolanda. And Margaret comes down there. She looking for Ginger because she want to find that tape, right? And her and Yolanda end up having a conversation, you know. And Yolanda is like, give her the business. Like, clearly Yolanda don't have no use for her. And she lets her know, listen, you're not going to take my son from me, okay? Okay, so go on about your business. So Margaret ends up finding Ginger, and they are getting their float together, honey. They got to float down to the Mardi Gras parade. And she tells Ginger, look, I need to get that tape. You know, remember all that women empowerment sitting at the same sister circle thing we was talking about before? Yeah, I'm going to need that tape. And Ginger was like, what you need that tape for? She said, I can't do that. She said, because it's not just about us blackmailing the governor. It's about my girls feeling safe and my clients knowing that they can be trusted. She said, if I give you that tape and it gets out that, you know, one, I'm videotaping my people, and two, I'm selling them out, you know, when it's advantageous to me, that's the end of my business. Like, my business is over. Like my business thrives on people feeling like they're comfortable in their freakiness. And Margaret was like, okay, but first of all, we'll protect the woman in the video. Like, it won't hurt you. And I need this tape because we need to bring Virgil Love down. Like, he means no good. He means us no good. And I really, really need that tape. And Ginger tells her, no, you're not going to get the tape, period, point blank. Okay? So Ginger refuses to give her the tape, and Margaret is not going to take no for an answer, which of course we know. So next thing you know, we see the two stoner dudes calling up Rose and Mark, you know, and trying to blackmail. Well, actually, Rose was with Mark. They was about to get it in the supply closet, and Mark I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Mark, you know, tells him, like, we're not giving you any money. And she was like, we're going to give them the money so we can get them off our back. And he was like, okay, it's just that easy. Like, you know, you just used to having money like that. Like, it's just, you can't just be just throwing away money like that. And she was like, listen, I finally found something. I'm finally happy. If it take a little bit of money to get them off our back, then that's what we're going to do. So they asked for $500,000. So dude thinks that Rose is about to go get $500,000. So they end up riding down to the little farmhouse that they were at last week. And Eugene is there. And Rose is like, Eugene, I'm sorry. I know it's your day. We'll be out of your hair in a minute. Like, you don't see us. You don't know that we're here. And Rose goes in and she has the password to the safe and everything. And so she gets the money out of the safe, and she tells Mark, she was like, listen, we ain't about to get him no $500,000. We're gonna get him $50,000 and they're gonna be happy with it, and they're gonna leave us the hell alone. So while she's in the house getting the money, he's talking to Eugene. And Eugene was like, I thought you wasn't supposed to be here. Like, you could clearly tell he'd been drinking. You could clearly tell he is not in the mood for no shenanigans. And he is not happy that he was interrupted on his day to be by himself. And so he was like, you know, Mark was like, how do you do it? Like, how do you work for them? He was like, what you mean? He was like, that's all I've ever known. And that's when we find out that him and Margaret grew up together. And, well, it's a combination of things we find out in the episode. But he lets him know. He was like, listen, this is what I do, you know. And either you're going to conform to the situation, you're going to figure it out, or you're going to have to do what you got to do. But he said some things that made Eugene sort of think a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But Eugene let him know, like, listen, my mama worked for them before me, and I work for them, and this is, you know, all I know. We also found out that Eugene is kind of in love with Margaret, but it was never returned. It was unrequited love, which I kind of feel like he kind of loves Margaret. And we're going to see how that evolves, because I feel like he might make his move at some point, but I don't know that to be true. I don't know if he's going to do it or not. Back down to the studio, we see Virgil Love and his crew. They done gave Eric, that's the oldest son, they done gave him a ring that, like, you know, basically his 1820 ring. And it's all blinged out, you know, like a Super Bowl ring or something like that. And it was his father's. You know, he was like, you officially taking your father's place. This is the symbol of it. Margaret comes down there and lets them know, what you gonna do is back up off my son. And you gonna back up out of my business. And you gonna, I tell you what else, you're not gonna run for governor. You know why? Because I have a tape that's gonna make you look Real suspect out here in these streets. Okay, you out here trying to act one way, but then here go the second way. And you know, I got this tape of you down to the Saint Wagon or whatever the place is called. Now, mind you, Ginger done already said she wasn't gonna get that woman that tape, but she gonna use the tape as a weapon anyway. And just the mere mention of the fact that she has the tape got him all scared. So, you know, Paul was like, don't even worry about it. We got it all under control. Because for a minute, they was kind of feeling some kind of way, right? The next thing you know, and, oh, I'm sorry. So next, I think I'm jumping ahead, but it is what it is. Next thing you know, Ginger come running down there, and she is pissed, right? Because she found out that Margaret had, threatened them with that daggone tape. And Margaret told, Ginger told Margaret, like, listen, I told you that we're not using that tape. Like, I need you to back up off of using that tape. And Paul overheard the fact that Ginger told Margaret she can't use the tape. So now Paul ain't really scared no more, because he was like, see, I knew you was bluffing all along. Because Ginger was like, ain't no tape. I don't even know what she's talking about. Ain't no tape. And she ended up telling Margaret and Paul, I believe, no, she told him it was a tape, but she wasn't using the tape. Anyway, something about the damn tape. But she ended up letting them know that you would have to be crazy to find where, you know, the place where I hid that tape, you would have to be crazy to find it. The other thing that we saw Ginger doing was, Ginger done met up with the reporter. Remember the reporter that's digging deep? And he let her know all about the 1820 boys. He let her know all about, you know, the deals that they got going on. And they are like 1 point away from owning half of her business. They own like 49% shares in her business. And Ginger was like, so only 1% more, and they have control. So I think that's going to end up being important. But he also let Ginger know that he'd been doing the research and that he doesn't think that Eugene was killed by accident. He thinks that Eugene was actually killed on purpose. And so, of course, she's kind of like, okay, that's a whole lot going on with that. So, the other thing is, when Eric found out that there's a tape, remember, Eric has been meeting up and doing the do on the computer screen with old girl down to the Saint Wagon. And he's now worried that she's got tapes of him. Now, his wife, who I thought wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention, oh, she sees everything, and she know that Eric got something going on, and she know that Eric's eyes have been wandering a little bit, and that Eric's eyes have been wandering to a specific person, which I found very interesting, because I'm like, has she been going through his computer or something? Because she put that together real fast. So I don't know, but anyway, so the dudes, the stoner guys end up, they set up a meeting, and Eugene told them when to set the meet up. And they're going to be meeting somewhere down to the French Quarter, right? During Mardi Gras, during the Mardi Gras parade, so it's going to be busy. It's a lot of people there, a whole lot of, you know, if you ever been to Mardi Gras, child, that scene that they filmed didn't even do Mardi Gras justice, but you know what I'm talking about. So, Margaret is praying, and the son comes through, the one from New York that's married to you, who's Yolanda is his mother, and he ends up letting her know that Yolanda is the one in the video. So even though Ginger won't give her the video, all she has to do is get Yolanda to basically say that she's the one in the video. But here's the thing we know about Yolanda. Yolanda is something like $80,000 in debt to some loan sharks for gambling. And that's where all his money's been going. Because she was like, why are you living down here at the motel down here with Ginger and them when I'm giving you this generous allowance every week? You could be like living in a really nice apartment somewhere on the other side of town. Like, I'm not understanding why you living down here. And he explained to her, you know, that his mother, you know, has a gambling problem, and that's basically where his money's been going. So, you know, Margaret ran her butt on down there. And, basically, you know, Yolanda agreed that for $100,000, she would do what Margaret wanted her to do. So, honey, they went running down to the Mardi Gras parade, hunty, and basically blackmailed the governor. And so the governor acquiesced. He agreed, right? Margaret ended up riding on his parade through Mardi Gras, child. Okay. But then what ended up happening was the brother came back around. I mean, the son came back around and told Margaret, like, listen, I'm sorry. I can't lie to you. My mother double-crossed you. Like, she was setting you up from the beginning, and she's making her own side deal with them 18-20 boys for me to get that fight that she's been wanting me to have. So she's not going to do what you think she's going to do, because she done made her own side deal. And then we see the mother making a side deal, right? So during Mardi Gras, the girls are on their parade, and Ginger, she sees Eugene. Because he's at the parade. He's with the stoner guys because they supposed to be meeting up to pay the money off. And she sees him, and she ends up running off the float and trying to run looking for him. And like I said, if you done ever been down Mardi Gras, you know that's crazy. You ain't gonna do that. But while she's doing that, the dude that had threatened her mom down to the motel that works for the 18-20 boys, he ends up running up on her with a gun, and he was like, listen, if you scream, ain't nobody gonna hear you, and if I shoot you, they ain't gonna hear you either. So you need to just come on and go with me, and we're gonna figure out where this tape is, right? Now, while that's going on, Rose and Mark end up going to the meeting spot, and come to find out the meeting spot is a dress shop, or really a fabric store, where Eugene used to take Rose when she was a kid. And she said he used to bring me here every weekend, every Saturday. This was our spot. This is where we went every Saturday. And he would give me money to spend, and I would buy up whatever fabric I wanted without my mother second guessing me, without my mother judging me. It was just our time. It was our place. So again, it makes you think, okay, this is where Eugene told them to meet up. He's sending her a message, right? So the guys show up. They give them the money. Everything is everything. And Rose lets them know, listen, this is a one-time thing. So when you lose this money, spend this money, throw this money away, I don't care what you do with it. What you won't do is come back. This is it. That's all. The shop is closed. Okay? Okay. She said, and what you're doing is a horrible thing. I'm going to put a hex on you. I curse you. I curse the money. I curse everything. And they were like, okay, is it that serious? So they're up on one of the balconies, honey, throwing beads and everything. And Eugene is sitting with them, and the money is in the bag. And they said, look, let's throw some money. Let's throw some money. We got money to spend. Honey, while they sitting there throwing beads and paying attention to the parade, Eugene done picked up that bag and walked off, okay? And later on in the episode, we see that Eugene done made it to the hospital with a real Mark. Remember, he in a coma. He put the money under the bed for him. Eugene leans over, gives him a kiss, and walks off. Now, my question is, how the hell did he get all the way up to where they at? Washington, Denver. Where the man at? How he get up there? Why they keep acting like that state is just a hop, skip, and a jump from Louisiana? Now, I mean, I'm not the most versed in geography, but I know that Washington State and Louisiana, I know that's a hop. I mean, Eugene, how you get this? See, it's stuff like that that make me feel like Eugene ain't real. But then there's other stuff that make me feel like Eugene is real. See, I don't know. I'm confused. Now, while that's going on, the hitman, he done threatened Ginger, talking about he was going to kill her, and he finally convinced her to turn over the tape. So she takes him down to, she said the tape is at the motel. Now, here's the thing I know about Ginger, or at least what I feel I know about Ginger. Ginger not this damn easy. Like, I feel like you've been playing real hard for you to give up this easily. I mean, she crying and everything. And so he ends up taking all her hard drives, child. He done took her laptops. He done took her hard drives. He done took everything. And he told her, he said, listen, now, if you're lying to me and you made other copies of this tape, me and you gonna have a problem. And he got her tied up and stuff in the room and everything like that. So, the ladies come back from the Mardi Gras, and Eric is down there, and he confronts old girl. He's like, listen, you know, Ginger making tapes. You got a tape of me? And she was like, no. She said, well, I had a tape, but I erased it. You know, I could never do that to you. You know, I could never do that to you. Baby, they end up going in the room and getting it in, doing the do the dot. Boom. Margaret comes down there to try to get the tape from Ginger again because Yolanda done double crossed her, so she really needs that tape now. And Ginger won't even talk to her because, of course, she's still tied up on the other side of the room in the motel. And, you know, Ginger is blaming her for all of this to begin with, which it is Margaret's fault. I get it, Margaret. You was desperate and you was pressed. But at the end of the day, you ain't had no right to use that tape as leverage, okay? Margaret ends up going away because Ginger won't talk to her. But you know who does come down there and talks to Ginger? Eric's wife. She down there looking for her husband because she know her husband done hooked up with old girl. Because she caught Eric looking at old girl at the Mardi Gras. And I was like, you really put 10 on 20 though. Like just because your husband finds somebody attractive, that doesn't mean that she with him. But I was like, But baby, how about she almost kissed Ginger? I said, oh, so the pious church girl got another side to her. Keep an eye on that one, don't you? Now, while all of this is going on, child, Eugene, oh Lord, I'm calling him Eugene. Franklin ends up going down to the rehab to go visit Ginger's mama. Because guess what? Ginger's mama got that tape. Because remember, Ginger said you got to be crazy to go where the tape is because her mother is in a rehab facility. Not saying that people in rehab are crazy. I'm just saying that was the clue. And Eugene was able to talk the mama into giving the tape up. So now Margaret got the daggone tape, honey. That Margaret has used the tape to expose the lieutenant governor. And Ginger, come to find out, she did have a videotape, a video recorder going in that room. So she has the guy that took all her equipment and all that, the hitman, she has him on tape. So she does have some sort of leverage back, but not a lot, because Margaret done released this tape and exposed her business. And she went to Margaret and said, you done put me out of business. Like, she said, you know, it was one thing when you was coming after, you know, when you was doing what you was doing and using us as leverage. But now you have come after my business. And for that, you will pay. I said, oh, Margaret. Anyway, y'all, that's it. That's all. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.